Welcome to Web Handling. My name is Dave Roysum. I am super excited to continue this new series on great questions in web handling. In this clip, I answer whether or not to use a nip for winding, and if you do use a nip, what is the best nip load setting? This is a great question. First, winding defects can be costly in many plants. Second, most winders have a nip that can be adjusted so that there is wide application. Third, it is not always so easy to give a simple universal answer to this question. Thus, it will hone your troubleshooting and critical thinking skills. Again, let's start with simple answers. A nip is required for surface winders such as reels and two drums. A nip would not be used if you did gap winding or had no nip available on your winder. However, even this is not always as simple as presented here. Perhaps you or your predecessor chose the wrong type of winder. This is rare, but it does happen. It also does not address the million-dollar question of what is the best nip load setting to use on surface winders, which we will get to shortly. It gets more complicated. For many turret, duplex, and other style winders where nips are optional. In other words, you have a lay-on roller, but it can be loaded lightly, loaded heavily, or simply unloaded from the winding roll. Sometimes it is quite clear when a nip should be used. A common example is winding of thin webs that are simultaneously not narrow, not rough, and not porous at high speeds. We covered the details of the why in our award-winning and trademarked Web101 class that has been taken by 5,000 students. Entrained air, which increases with winding speed, loosens the wind of certain webs. If you clearly can't live with that looseness, you clearly need a nip. In fact, any situation where loose defects clearly dominate, even though you've pegged the tension knob, clearly cries for a nip. Yet, even this is not simple. What is a loose defect? What is a tight defect? It also does not get into what does it mean to peg a knob, such as the tension knob. Can my web, winding roll, or machine be made to take higher tensions? It also does not answer the next question of what nip load setting should I use? Unfortunately, engineering and science will usually be unable to answer the question of what nip load setting is best. Best can only come from economics. Those of you who follow my work will quickly know how to get that answer. It is the economic minima of the sum of low nip load defects and high nip load defects as a function of nip load for a given web and winder. Of course, that presumes you understand winding and winding defects very well. That, for example, you know that there are 3 types of core crushes. 2 are tight defects, and 1 is a loose defect. That there are 5 types of telescopes. Some are tight, some are loose, and 1 is a taper defect. If you don't know these things, you must go to school or learn the hard way on your machine. The executive summary goes something like this. NIP is the most powerful of the winding tightness knobs. It is also, at the same time, the most destructive of the knobs. It will require a nearly dead flat web thickness profile to use NIP of almost any value. High NIP loads, especially on fragile webs, will require an especially flat web profile, as well as great machine design and maintenance prowess related to deflection and other concerns as we covered in our Web 101 class. You can find out a lot more about both economic optimization and NIPs on this all web handling channel of YouTube by using my Web201 search engine, available free as an Abbott app or as an MSXL file by merely asking. Thank you so very much for allowing me to share my thoughts on great questions in web handling. Let me know what questions you might have in the comment section below. Please like and share if you found something interesting or useful. See you next time.